Welcome to the webinar on why you should apply to the Society for Research in Child Development's U.S. Federal Policy Fellowship Program. We're excited to provide you with an overview of the fellowship experience. Let's get started. There are three overarching goals of the Federal Policy Fellowship Program. They are to provide fellows with firsthand experience in federal policymaking, program implementation and evaluation, to provide federal executive branch agencies and Congress greater access to research expertise on a diverse range of child development topics to enhance evidence-based policy development, implementation, and evaluation. And last, build a network of experts that bridge developmental science, federal policymaking, and practice. There are many benefits of the fellowship experience. Through your fellowship experience, you will better understand the linkages between research and policy through an immersion experience. You will engage in the policymaking process. You will learn how developmental science can be used to improve policy development, implementation, and evaluation. You will learn how to communicate more effectively with policymakers and other stakeholders. You will further expand your career opportunities and your network. You will learn how to formulate more informed and useful questions for policy-related research. You will use research to inform federally funded programs and policies that serve diverse populations. And you will strengthen your skill sets through professional development opportunities. Now let's explore the fellowship opportunities in more detail. There are two types of federal fellowships, the Congressional Fellowship and the Executive Branch Fellowship. Next, we'll provide some examples of Congressional Fellowship experiences. For the Congressional Fellowship, you will either find a placement in a Senate or House of Representatives member office, or you will have a placement with a congressional committee. For example, past fellows have been placed with the House Education and Labor Committee and with the Senate Finance Committee. Congressional fellows have contributed to their offices in a wide variety of important ways. I'd like to give you just a handful of examples of the types of work fellows can do when they're on Capitol Hill. Fellows are usually involved with drafting and negotiating legislation, staffing congressional meetings, using research to inform the reauthorization of programs or appropriations, advising members of Congress on how research and data may inform policies, federal programs, and services affecting children, youth, and families, and supporting congressional hearings, briefings, or speeches. For executive branch fellowships, fellows may be placed in research and evaluation offices such as the Office of Planning, Research and Evaluation, OPRE, or the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Planning and Evaluation, ASPE. There are many types of activities that fellows have worked on during such placements. They have contributed to the studies design for congressionally mandated and federally funded studies, developed new research agendas to inform programs and policies that serve diverse populations. For example, in a placement like OPRE, you may work with your Head Start partners on OPRE team to identify research needs to address specific questions where there are gaps in the literature, including programs that serve specific populations, such as migrant and indigenous children. Fellows have also contributed to grant review for extramural grant applications, and they have fostered cross-agency collaborations, for example, by serving on interagency work groups. These work groups promote collaboration across different agencies, departments, or offices on topics of mutual interest. Work groups are formed for different functions, such as informing new research agendas, convening an expert meeting on a particular topic, or overseeing the production of a report. For example, one fellow worked on the Home View work group, which guided the production of the Home Visiting Evidence of Effectiveness Review, with representatives from OPRE, ASPE, Children's Bureau, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Health Resources and Services Administration. Lastly, fellows have also written requests for proposals for federal grant programs or contracts, from conceptualization of the research program to the review, award, and oversight of funded projects. Executive branch fellows may also be placed in program offices, such as the Office of Head Start, OHS, or the Office of Childcare, OCC. In these placements, fellows may review state, territory, and tribal plans for child care and early program implementation. Some of these programs may be funded through block grants, and prior fellows have supported the review process of the grant applications. Fellows may manage federally funded grant programs to organizations who provide education or childcare services. They may also conduct reviews of the national early education and care landscape, or support and guide program monitoring activities and technical assistance providers. For example, by developing, disseminating, and implementing the Head Start Early Learning Outcomes Framework. Lastly, fellows may develop and amend program rules and regulations. There have been placements at other offices as well, including the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development, NICHD. At NICHD, fellows have participated in strategic planning for the placement agency, worked on funding opportunity announcements, BOAs, and notices of special interest, NOCIs, planned and implemented scientific workshops with various stakeholders, and assisted in defining research agendas. Please note that the specific placements available vary by a year based on funding. In addition to the rich learning experiences found in the fellowship placement itself, SRCD provides other professional development supports throughout the year, including a multi-day child and family and policy training in the fall and a multi-day capstone meeting to reflect on the fellowship year in the summer, monthly seminars focused on child development and public policy, as well as career development, individualized professional development planning with support from SRCD staff and placement supervisors, development of a professional portfolio to showcase the fellow's accomplishments, and $2,800 allowance for professional development activities. Fellows have used funds to attend conferences, gain additional statistics and research methods training, join professional associations, and more. SRCD federal fellows are also fellows of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, or AAAS. SRCD also partners with the American Association for the Advancement of Science to provide additional professional development trainings, including a 2-week orientation to science policy at the start of the fellowship year, and other career development programming and social events throughout the year. Fellows have attended skill building workshops in science communication, networking, management practices, and more. Beyond the fellowship experience, fellows also benefit from joining an extensive network of over 200 SRCD fellowship alumni, as well as being part of the larger AAAS fellowship network. You may be wondering what fellows do after the fellowship and how it influences their career. Many former fellows say the fellowship was integral in launching their next chapter. They developed a wide array of knowledge, skills, and experiences that expanded their expertise and portfolio of work beyond graduate school training and launched them into new, exciting careers. A large percentage of former congressional and executive branch fellows work outside of academia, in government, consulting, direct service organizations, research firms, nonprofits, and philanthropic foundations. Some specific examples of places fellowship alumni have worked include Child Trends, the New York City Administration for Children's Services, SRI International, and Foundation for Child Development. Other fellows stay in the federal government after their fellowship concludes. Are you interested in applying? There are some specific eligibility requirements you will need to keep in mind. Applicants must have a doctorate in an area relevant to child development. For example, this doctorate degree could be a PhD, an EdD, or an MD. Please note, we welcome applications from early, mid-career, and advanced career scholars. Applicants must also be a member of SRCD and a U.S. citizen due to citizenship restrictions for placement in Congress and the federal agencies. They must also demonstrate exceptional competence in an area of child development research. Please note, fellows come from a wide variety of backgrounds and scientific disciplines. Lastly, they must be able to commit to a 12-month full-time fellowship placement in Washington, D.C. Be sure to visit SRCD's website for application information and the deadline for submission. Thank you for watching this webinar, and we hope to see your application this year. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to contact our office via email at policyfellowships@srcd.org.